Alrighty, welcome to 360 Live, the new format of how we're going to be doing things during the IPL. It's the 26th of March, and we've had a full round of the IPL. Every team has played, which has been very entertaining to say the least. What a fantastic start to this year's IPL. Wins for SRH, RCB, Punjab Kings, CSK, and Delhi Capitals against all the odds, I must say, for Delhi Capitals. Nice start for them as they sort of turn the tide. Didn't look good for most of that game, but ultimately getting out on top. We've got more cricket coming up. It's every single day IPL cricket, and it's absolutely fantastic. Guys, post your questions down below, whatever you want to find out from those first 5 games. Also, we have some live cricket today, tomorrow. RCB also will be running out in a couple of days' time, and that is a very big fixture, which we will cover as well. Post all your questions down below, like the show, subscribe, and let's keep building the 360 show as we move through the IPL. Exciting, entertaining, to say the very least. That's for sure. But high-scoring games to start the IPL off, as we have briefly touched on SRH's 4 out of 5 high scores that they hold now. Look at that. Highest team totals, SRH, 4 out of the top 5, 287, 286 the other day. Just coming up short of breaking their own record. Yes, it's obviously got to do with the good wicket over there in Hyderabad, but you don't see any other teams on there. There's another team playing in those same games, right? So the opposition teams not being able to post high scores like that. The odd occasion, yes, but ultimately SRH has managed to make it a bit of a fortress, at least a batting fortress over there. They have a fantastic batting lineup, and that's what I really wanted to touch on. It's just firepower right throughout, and the addition of Ishan Kishan. There's a bit of rhyming going on there. The addition of Ishan Kishan has been a fresh find for them, scoring that amazing 100 off only 47 balls in his first game for the Orange Army. 11 sixes. 11 4, 6 sixes. Just a fantastic all-round player. I've always enjoyed watching him play, as I've always felt like he's got 5 gears in his batting. He's not a one-dimensional kind of player who comes out and is very aggressive. You find a lot of those kind of batters in the IPL where they play one way and that is it, whether we chase or set. We don't mind, or I don't mind. I just play my game plan where I feel with this guy. He's quite smart. He knows how to handle the new ball with his swing, with his seam movement. When there's a guy with a lot of pace, when the spinners come on, when the wicket is slow and low, he sort of adapts to different game plans, and that's what I really enjoy about him and how I rate players. Is he willing to, first of all, does he put himself second in the team first? So you got to be willing to, and then secondly, do you have the ability to sort of come up with a game plan in different situations, and when you're confronted with different kind of bowling plans and conditions as well? And he certainly showed that he's capable of doing that. No matter what team he plays for, where he bats in the order, and what kind of over he comes into bat, he adapts to that. So kudos to him. Fantastic start to his campaign. Also, he got a nod out. It's always a nice thing to get early on in the tournament, so you don't have to really worry about your personal performance over the next 5 to 7 games. All you can focus on is how can I extend my game plan and how can I keep having an impact on my team's performance and keep adding value. It takes a lot of personal pressure off. So great start for him. There are also quite a few other batters who put up their hands in this year's IPL in the very first game, as we've seen a lot of high-scoring games. Let's take a quick question here. Do you think such a high percentage of high-scoring games in the IPL has made it boring? Feels like bowlers have merely become bowling machines. You don't want bowlers to feel like bowling machines. To a certain extent, we've seen a lot of high-scoring games in the last few seasons, but there's also a bit of different results as well, where the bowlers dominate. Remember, the wickets are fresh, then rolled nice and hard. There's a bit of juice in them, which means there's a lot of pace off the bat. We saw that especially in last night's game, as Gujarat Titans and Punjab Kings, the balls were just flying everywhere. It's like half shots that were going for boundaries. But that trend will change as the wickets get a bit older, a bit more tired, and used up throughout the tournament. And that is the beauty of the IPL. It's not a 2-week tournament, where I've praised a lot of tournaments in the past that's only 5 weeks or 4 weeks long. And I do like that about certain tournaments, because it's not too boring and long. But in saying that, you get a very true result of the IPL where the champions come out on top. They've performed over a 10-week period. It's a long tournament, which means the conditions will also change throughout the tournament. So keep an eye out for that. Don't get overly excited for all your batters, because the bowlers will be back. There's no doubt about it. And we saw that in the similar kind of trend in last season's tournament as things sort of fluctuated throughout the tournament. High-scoring games, and it gradually came down. A couple of high-scoring games in the middle. And ultimately, I feel the bowlers were definitely in the game throughout most of last year's IPL. But yes, balance is important, but give it to the batters for the start of this tournament. The bowlers will be back. There's no doubt about it. We have had some good bowlers put up their hands throughout the first round of games, which we'll cover as well. Let's quickly go through last night's game, high-scoring game. Absolutely incredible batting there in that first innings, 243 for 5. Shreyas Iyer coming up short of his 100. And I think a lot of people were upset with his partner at the other end. But Shashank Singh, it was told, or in a media presser, they asked him, so what is the story? Why didn't he give your captain the strike there? He's just shy of 100. And he came out and said, Shreyas from ball one said, don't worry about my 100. I absolutely love that about Shreyas. I've always been a fan of him as a player, but also as a leader, very calm and composed. I love watching him bat out there. He was very aggressive up front against Rabada, and just played class shots throughout. And the minute his partner came out and he said to him, listen, I don't give anything about my 100. I don't care about it. All I want is for the team to post a good total, because I know this is a really good wicket. We need as many runs as possible. And remember, there's a not out once again. I just spoke about it. It takes a lot of pressure off an individual early in the tournament to get a high-scoring not out. There we have it, guys. 9 sixes, 5 fours. Fantastic knock. And now, also remember, he's captain, so there will be a lot of pressure off the leadership as well. And he had the ability, mental toughness or mental awareness. Awareness is the word I'm looking for. Mental awareness to understand that a win is much more important for him as a leader in the start of the tournament. Also a not out, so he doesn't have to worry too much about his batting over the next few games. All he can do is free up, watch the ball and play cricket and make calculated good decisions for his team. So it helps a lot. 97 of only 42 balls, guys. Wonderful knock. He deserved the 100. But I'm a big fan of people who don't really care about their hundreds and their stats, but more so about the team and the team's performance. And that's what Shreyas proved last night, playing under Ricky Ponting. And they've had a wonderful record so far as captain coach. And they started the campaign really well as well. Remember, Delhi Capitals, he was captain with Ponting coach. So they have worked together before. I think the last time they worked together was maybe in 2021, 22. I can't remember the exact date, but it's great to see them together again. Fresh start at a new team who's been underperforming for many years, and now the two of them have an opportunity to take things forward. All right, let's talk about Ashutosh, the chasing guru. Everyone thought he was completely out of the game for Delhi Capitals. Ashutosh Sharma was 20 from 20 deliveries, guys. His next 46 runs came from just 11 balls. Outstanding, but more so with the outstanding hitting was the outstanding composure and calmness and just presence of mind, right? He made really good calculated decisions, batted with the tail, batted with a lot of players out there, and somehow just kept his calm. 66 of 31 balls, and he finished like an absolute pro. What a fantastic, fantastic win for Delhi Capitals. Against all the odds, I think the win probability was against them about 99% at one stage, 98.5 or whatever. And look at that, 98.44 for LSG to win. So the Delhi Capitals were certainly up against it, but they turned the script, right at the end, through one guy that was willing to stay there. Yes, a lot of other players chipped in, but generally most of them panicked a bit early, but not this guy, not Ashutosh. He absolutely creamed it at the back end, stayed calm, and waited for the opportunity until the right at the end. He even trusted the number 11 so much that he got him to face a few balls. Tiny little moment there for Rishabh Pant behind the stumps as he missed a stumping opportunity, which did touch the pad, by the way. A lot of people missed that, so it wasn't easy. But that's where the next ball they got off strike. Ashutosh got on strike again and finished the game for Delhi Capitals. Against all the odds, great start for them. A fresh look team as well. Let's keep that in mind. A lot of new players. Faf du Plessis there. He chipped in. Tristan Stubbs, they retained him. He played a bit of a hand as well. But unfortunately for LSG, they have gone down in that first game. They looked like they were going to be winners, but unfortunately for them, came up short. Shreyas Iyer as captain. Let's have a look at that. I saw a question about that. Do you think that Shreyas can be the next Indian captain after Rohit Sharma? Absolutely. Why not? There are some other contenders. I think of Shubman Gill and a few others, but Shreyas has certainly put up his hand, right? Very successful captaincy record, winning that IPL not long ago, right? Don't forget that. He finds himself at a new team now as captain again and starting well with both bat and as a leader. So he can definitely take over from Rohit in the future. I do think he's possibly the favorite for that position moving into the future. But we'll see what the selectors come up with and what they think. You never know, right? There's a panel of selectors and a panel of guys who make the big decisions for Team India. So it's up to them to decide who's the best guy to take things forward, who can handle the different kind of pressures from guys from different cities, from different teams, all that cultural differences, mindset differences. You've got to take that all into account at a national level and pick the right leader to get those guys together and work in unison. That's Shreyas. Let's move on, guys. Plenty of cricket to come in the next few weeks. There's some stellar games. I can't wait to watch RCB play again as they showed some signs of life, right? And a lot of hype around them as they look fresh out there. It is the big game. It's CSK, the yellow jerseys, against RCB. That's not tomorrow, the day after, the 28th of March. That is in Chennai. So RCB will be up against it. That is for sure. There's no doubt about it. The record for RCB over the years, for most teams actually at the Chepauk Stadium, has been terrible. But there we have it as well. 33 games played. Chennai have won 21 out of the 33, only 11 for RCB. Higher scores, not so high, but keep in mind, played a lot of games at the Chepauk Stadium and some at the Chinnaswamy as well. It's crazy to see. I always thought the Chinnaswamy was the highest scoring ground of the IPL, the best to bat at, but Hyderabad certainly taken over there, and some other grounds as well, actually. Please tell something about Virat Kohli and RCB versus CSK match. What I can tell you is you will be very fired up. You will be playing against his big friend and teammate MS Dhoni, as we see that picture of the two of them there. But Virat, he's always up for big games. This is a big game. If they can go back-to-back away wins, imagine that, them returning to the Chinnaswamy Stadium with back-to-back wins and a great start to a new IPL, 2025 IPL. I think there's a lot to play for here. Virat will identify this as a very big game and a great opportunity for RCB to get ahead of the field. And why I say the word field is I think about golf. When you can make a birdie on the hardest hole of the golf course, you sort of gain a shot against the rest of the field. And that's the opportunity RCB sits with right here. The bowling attack, I feel, has been the turning point for RCB this season. Look, it's still fresh in the season. We're only one game in, but the bowlers, and it's very refreshing to say, the bowlers sort of stood up the other day. They were the guys that performed under pressure. The batters did what they usually do best, but the bowlers were the guys who just said, listen, the game is on the line, yo. How about us come together as a unit and win this game for RCB, which they did. So what do you think this time, RCB? Will they win the trophy? I think so. But Virat told me I'm not allowed to say it anymore. And I understand where he comes from because we've been saying it for many, many years now. Isalap Cup Namde, the trophy is coming home. But we are going to stop this season in saying that, and maybe that will sort of turn things around for RCB. No more saying that, all right? All we want RCB to do is play good cricket, give their absolute best. They've had a great start to this tournament, and they have a wonderful opportunity against CSK to make up some points against the rest of the teams out there. So no more that, guys, but I do believe they can win the trophy, but I'm not going to say the trophy's coming home. That is getting a little bit ahead of yourselves, and maybe we should have realized that many years ago. All right, Arav, AB, based on the performances so far in IPL 2025, which team do you think has the strongest bowling lineup, and what makes them stand out? I think there are so many good teams. It's difficult to say, guys. It really is. We see some nice makeup of seam bowlers and spin bowlers in most of the sides. It's tough to say. There's also some inexperience. We saw Mumbai Indians experiment with a young spinner who played well the other night, by the way. I've never heard of him before, and the next minute I see him running up, taking 3 wickets against CSK under pressure. But I do feel RCB's bowling attack is very well-rounded. I saw some really good bowling attacks last night as well, who performed under pressure on a good cricket wicket. Also in the Hyderabad game, it's difficult to say, but I do feel RCB's balance, and I spoke about the balance on numerous occasions. Maybe just the leg spinner the other night was expensive, but there's no reason why we can't maintain with him. And he will play his role throughout the tournament. But I love the fact that we have options. We have Will Jacks that can come in and bowl off spin. We know Krunal Pandya is there. And then all round, just really good balance in the seam bowling department, from experience to youth, a bit of everything. We haven't even seen Bhuvi yet. Bhuvi is also there, and maybe he will get his opportunity very, very soon. Remember, they're playing at the Chepauk Stadium in 2 days' time. Takes a bit of turn, so I can't say we'll see Bhuvi in the next game. So, but we'll see it. Look, I'm not a selector, but from what I've sensed over the years at the Chepauk Stadium, you need your spinners, right? Bhuvi is always good, no matter what conditions you play in. But a leg spinner can break a game open. We saw MI's leg spinner take 3 wickets there the other night. So maybe it is an area where we can expose CSK, and I will go with a full-out spin attack with our left-arm spinner option with Will Jacks to bowl office, and also the leg spinner. So we know what our seamers are capable of, but I wouldn't change anything in that team, in that starting lineup in the first game. Go back to the Chinnaswamy, and then we could start experimenting. But let's get a back-to-back win to start the campaign off on a very, very high note. All right, guys, keep posting your questions. We're not going to make it too long. We've got a bit more to cover, and then I will be seeing you guys this coming weekend again after we've had some results. Now that every team has played at least one match in the IPL, which team has impressed you the most so far, both in terms of performance and squad balance? Look, there were some really close games, some high-scoring games, so the batters were in control. But once again, I feel RCB has done exceptionally well. Remember, they are playing away from home to start off this campaign. So I think that was very impressive from them. Also, last night's game, Kings Punjab, a really good start under the leadership of Shreyas. I feel they have a really well-rounded squad as well. And it's nice and refreshing to name teams like that instead of the usual suspects, MI, CSK. Yes, CSK had a really good game. But usually you talk about those kind of teams that the star performers over the years, KKR, teams like that. I mean, guys, there are 10 world-class teams in this year's IPL. It's very difficult to say who has looked the best so far. Mumbai Indians, can you believe their record? They haven't not won an opening game at the IPL for so many years now. It's absolutely crazy to think, with all the talent they have in their side, and how good a team they are and franchise they are. Haven't won the tournament so many times now. Look at that record, guys. The opening games, I mean, 2008, 2013, 14, 15, I mean, and then it goes straight through to 2025. Why? It's very difficult to say. I think the recent years maybe make sense because they've chopped and changed quite a bit with the team. They've had a lot of different leaderships, captains at the top, a lot of different players, really experimenting with a lot of youth. So fresh faces in there. But it's just crazy. But it shows you the IPL and how unpredictable it can be sometimes. And some of the games, I mean, we talk about results. Who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? It is so unpredictable sometimes. It's very difficult to say. And it comes down to the small margins, tiny little errors in the field. One guy to take this to rotate the strike at the right time. I think of the game the other night with Delhi Capitals getting Ashutosh back on strike. If that didn't happen, they would have lost the game. So it's small little things that can change you a game. And why Mumbai Indians have done poorly in the opening games, it blows my mind. But it's sometimes just the unpredictability of the IPL. All right, question on the high-scoring games. I've briefly touched on it before. What do you think might be the reason nowadays scores are so high? But back in the day, 180 was a good score. That completely depends on the wicket. And also the second thing that needs to be said is the evolution of the game and the batters. And the batters experimenting with new shots, pushing harder up front, the impact player rule. Let's not forget about that. So the opening pair, already I feel in the IPL as opening batters, you have the least amount of pressure, the most freedom with only 2 players outside the circle. So you have those fielding restrictions. But now you are told, hold on, we might have an extra specialist batter in the lineup as well. And it gives them even more freedom to really take the bowlers apart in the first 6 overs, especially on good wickets, such as the Hyderabad wicket in Ahmedabad. I can name you a few grounds where I feel the opening pair can really, really fire up front. And I mean, grounds like the Wankhede, Chinnaswamy, yes, also generally high-scoring grounds, but there's always something in it with that new ball. In Hyderabad, I don't really see that. It's gentle swing. If anything, you don't want the new ball because the ball just flies quicker off the bat. And also with its restrictions in and the impact player rule, there are your reasons why we've seen some really high-scoring games. And then let's not take it away from the batters. Some incredibly talented batters in that SRH team. And throughout the IPL, we've seen batters take their games to the next level and really experiment and also trying new things and understanding that with the insurance of an extra batter in the lineup, we can go a bit harder. I would say you can even add the number 3 in there. The top 3 really have more license than ever in the power play overs to really have a full go. So there are my reasons as we are coming to an end almost, Abhishek. Will RCB be able to reach 300 with this batting lineup? Maybe in Hyderabad. I don't see that happening in Chinnaswamy. They have the ability, guys. It's a fantastic batting lineup, a fantastic, well-balanced team, I would say, for RCB this year. I feel they can play in all conditions, at home and away from home. And that's why I really like the look of the RCB team this year. 300 at the Chinnaswamy is unlikely. I've always seen it as a really good wicket where you can get a hold of the bowling department, but I would say 230, 240 is probably as high as we will see this year. Maybe a 250 if we're lucky. I don't see 300 happening. Possibly not even in the entire tournament. I know they've come close, but it's almost a psychological barrier. And guys, 300 is a lot of runs. 15 runs every single over. Yes, you can start well sometimes, but you're just bound to come up against a good bowler in the IPL. There's not one bowling attack where you go like and you lick your lips and you say, you know what, we have license throughout the bowling attack here. There's always 2 or 3 good bowlers in form who have the ability to turn balls both ways, perhaps, to bowl at 150 k's an hour and sort of break the game open or at least stop the momentum. So to have a fluent, perfect 20 overs is very unlikely. And we need to celebrate high scores like this because, guys, it is incredible what the batters are achieving. I know the wickets are good and a lot of things count in their favor, but it's simply fantastic to see where batters have taken the game in the modern era, right? So celebrate that, celebrate great cricket, and I promise you the bowlers will be back. The wickets will get a bit harder. Some of them will take turn. Celebrate the ups and downs of the IPL, the roller coaster rides, the almost 300 totals, but then also the 160s that sometimes are enough. And we'll see more of that throughout the tournament. There's no doubt about it. It's awesome to know that the low and the high scores can fluctuate between, or they can have a difference of 180 runs sometimes. It's crazy in only 20 overs. Celebrate that and the beauty of cricket and the unpredictability of the IPL. Guys, that comes to, one more. For a super fan, we'll take one more. The honorary Bangalorean. What are your thoughts on Rajat's captaincy so far? I love that first game. But remember, there's a long tournament to go, especially tossing the ball to Shreyas. against Ray Russ, and that was a big turning point, right? Yes, Shuash was expensive if you look at his figures throughout the night, and I've no doubt you'll have an even better game against CSK coming up in a couple of days' time. But having the ability to trust in him. So Rajat Patidar, congrats for that. And kudos to you. Big, bold move. I'm not sure if he bounced the idea of guys like Virat and some of the senior campaigners in his team. But for a young captain to make a bold move like that was absolutely fantastic. The one thing with Dre Russ, bowling spin to him, he's going to try and hit 6 sixes in that over. So in saying that, yes, there's a lot of fear in your heart when you make that decision, but also fear comes with opportunity. Knowing the guy is going to be overly aggressive, it takes one tiny mistake for him to lose his wicket. And Rajat was prepared to take that risk, and credit to him for being so bold, right? So that brings me to the end of the 360 Live. It's this Wednesday, the 26th of March. Great cricket coming up, guys. Keep an eye out for the IPL games over the next few days. In particular, RCB playing CSK, old foes, the rivals, at the Chepauk Stadium. But with that, yes, there's a lot of fear, and our record at the Chepauk Stadium is terrible, but it comes with great opportunity as we can gain some points against the rest of the teams in the IPL. So all Bangalore fans, RCB fans, don't fear. Be optimistic and see the opportunity when there is fear around. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll see you on the weekend as we're through the first round of the IPL games. It's incredibly exciting, and there's more fantastic cricket ahead, and we can't wait for that. Follow me on Facebook, all social media platforms. I'll keep you guys up to date with news and when I go live. X, also Instagram, and also like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's keep growing this channel, and let's make it great. I almost sound like Donald Trump there. Let's make it great. But luckily not again. It's already great, right? Because I have the best fans in the world. Thanks for following me. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you this coming weekend as we'll have more results in the bag and more great cricket upcoming. Have a great time, and bye now.